Hey, what's going on, guys? Saiyan here, back with another What If on the channel, and in this video, I'm continuing the theory of if Cabba was in Universe 7. And by that, I mean if he was born in Universe 7. And it's not like there's a duplicate of him in Universe 6 either, he's just born in Universe 7 instead. Before we get into the recap, I just want to say thank you for 450 subscribers. Although I am happy about that, only a small percent of you guys are actually subscribed. My channel stats show that 68% of you aren't, so make sure to go down there and hit the button. You can always change your mind later. But let's get into the recap. In the previous part, Cell, after becoming perfect, gave the group 10 days to train. But having sensed his ki, Goku and Gohan stayed the entire year in the time chamber. And with Gohan already having Super Saiyan, they were both able to unlock Super Saiyan 2. Which, after showing it off to the others, they were all also able to unlock it. Cell cut down on their training, realizing how strong they had gotten, but was still defeated by Goku. Although he ended up regenerating and nearly killed Goku, but wasn't actually killed by both Gohan and Cabba, who were enraged at seeing Goku nearly dead. That's a lot of killing. But the 7 years of peace has started, and that's where we left off in the last part. Before we get into this one though, let's hit a like goal of 30 likes, and when we do, I'll continue with another part. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get right into it. We start this part off with a 7-year time skip. For starters, Goku is still alive. Everybody already has Super Saiyan 2, and they continue to master it, although having it sooner might lead Goku to still reach towards Super Saiyan 3. Although he is in the living world, he has been working on this transformation, and by the end of the time skip, I think it's safe to assume he would have some grasp over it. In the original series, he didn't have Super Saiyan 2 in the other world, so he had to access that and then go for Super Saiyan 3. Here, he doesn't have to do that, so I think it's safe to assume he would have it. But it's much worse than in the original series. There are a bunch of flaws about it. Remember, Goku never died, so that means when he never comes back for one day. That also means that his halo is still there, and that means his body is still like the people in the other world. So that's why he was able to use it so well. But after he got revived, it wasn't working so well for him. So yeah, I think he would still have it. But Cabba might even go for it, although he doesn't really like the form since it's exhausting to use and only beneficial for short strength gains. I just realized I've been using although too much. But another thing is that Gohan would still go to high school, and he keeps up with his training more since Goku is around, and same with Cabba. And he ends up meeting Videl like usual, which would also end up leading him to become the Great Saiyaman. Videl would find out about his identity and tell him to join the tournament, otherwise she'll give it up. But they end up doing so. And Vegeta's another person we need to talk about before the tournament. I think he might also get to unlocking Super Saiyan 3 because he heard about it from Cabba, but he too realizes the flaws and decides to leave it be. Although, Trunks and Goten would still be born and access Super Saiyan much like the original series. There is one other thing we need to talk about, and that's giving Cabba somebody to date or marry. And I've looked over a bunch of comments, and I think I might just go with Launch. Now, she is rowdy, or she can get rowdy, and much like how Saiyans like it. I think they might meet each other and hook up. By the end of the time skip, they might even get married. But that's the furthest it goes with that, as I don't want any fan art for kids. But, yeah. Following the natural order of things, the tournament is up next, which everyone would attend, and Cabba is there as well. Of course, much like the original series, Shin and Kibito are also there, with Spopo and Yamu being there as well. Of course, they're both Majin. But similar events would play out, and although Gohan is stronger, he's probably just on par with his teen self while fighting Cell. Although that is stronger than in the original series, it wouldn't be enough to break out of Shin's hold alongside Spopo and Yamu's. So his energy is sucked and everybody follows pursuit. Similar events would play out after this with Deborah killing Kibito, then stoning Krillin, and Cabba notices the spit on Krillin. He also realizes that Piccolo is his next target, and as Deborah leaps towards Piccolo, Cabba steps in front of him, taking the hit for himself. Cabba is getting stoned, but he decides that he needs to take off his arm thingy really fast, or he could just cut off his arm, but that's a very less likely option as Cabba acts fast, with Piccolo helping him out there too. Deborah is then teleported out of there by Babidi, and Babidi then forces them all to get inside the ship. And afterwards, much of the similar stuff would play out, with, Pui Pui and Yakon, with Goku defeating him. And Cabba ends up getting to take on Deborah because he wins rock, paper, scissors against Gohan. Cabba is much stronger than Gohan anyway, so he tries to make this quick. Deborah's techniques do slip him up, but he still gets the upper hand. Babidi starts to panic and then, of course, realizes he needs to take someone over. At this point, Vegeta ends up becoming Majin. But getting mind controlled is not in the way you think. Now, see, he willingly does it, much like in the original series, but this time he has control and not as much hatred for Goku. I mean, he did miss his fight, but still, Goku's always around. The main part of this would be Cabba. Of course, being around Cabba made Vegeta better, and that helped him soften up to the others, which made him good. So, Majin Vegeta would be born, but he completely disobeys Babidi. He tells the others it was a power boost so they could have an easier time defeating Deborah. Then Babidi would go out and teleport everybody out of there. They find the wasteland where Babidi's taking Deborah's energy and putting it inside the egg. Deborah is heavily weakened, but 99% of the egg is completely full. Deborah then tries to take on the others, but only for a split second. The egg gets stronger from this, but it's still only at 99%. Babidi decides that, as a last resort, he needs to give it some of his own power, and then he would be healed by Majin Buu. As this works, Buu is then revived. Deborah dies, but him dying resulted in Buu being born, although everyone would take him on after this. He thinks it's fun, but of course everybody's trying to kill him. Together they put up a good fight. Goku even uses Super Saiyan 3 to try and take him down. This, combined with the others who are also extremely strong, might be enough to take down Buu. Although Buu is angered and starts to steam up, but that's when Cabba jumps in. In Super Saiyan 2, he realizes that something is up inside of Buu. Multiple things, actually. He senses a bunch of keys. He goes up to Buu and then just taps him, punches him pretty decently, not that hard. Buu doesn't really feel it, but then he feels something inside of his body. It starts to separate or something. Of course, there's a couple things that happens here. Buu becomes 4 different things. His pink self for starters, but this one is good, and Goku can sense that. Although one seems to be pure evil, and the other two, wait, are those Kais? Well, yeah, that's right. Cabba, using Force Spirit Fission, removed the Kais from Buu's body. Remember, Force Spirit Fission is used to split things up as well. So that's how it works here. The Grand Kai and the South Kai are removed. And they know what's been happening since they've been inside of Buu the entire time. They greet Shin, who is in disbelief, and explain the situation. Although, now with all their powers, Evil Buu isn't much of a threat, and he is killed off. Even though it does take some effort, unless he can turn and eat the other Buu, he wouldn't turn into Super Buu. And he isn't able to, because everybody is strong, and they would end up killing him. As the threat of Buu is secure, Babidi is then killed off, which removes the Majin symbol from Vegeta's head. And now 4 years of peace follows, with Goku improving the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, realizing that it was a pretty big help in this fight. The Kais would also join in with this and try and recruit somebody to fight, and none other than Cabba, because, well, Cabba was a big help in defeating Buu. He also released them, and that helps them make the universe better, so he would be recruited. And Cabba would actually gladly accept. He would wield the Z-Sword, which the Dai Kaio shows off, and he explains it. He then breaks it with his hand, which releases the Elder Kai. Now, of course, Elder Kai was before the Grand Kai, at least I'm pretty sure, and that means he should know about the Kais and how the sword did something, although Shin might not. But that's when Elder Kai would also probably release Cabba's potential, due to, him stopping Buu and everything, and releasing the Daikaio, who then was there to release him. So yeah, that all happens. But on a distant planet, the god of destruction Beerus would wake up, and he's had a dream of something. A super something. Whis would ask him of what this is, and he thinks it has to do with a Saiyan. Whis shows off Goku fighting Frieza and defeating him. He also shows him the story about Buu and how he and his friends released the Grand Kai and South Kai from inside Majin Buu. He also told Beerus about Elder Kai and everything. But first, Beerus decides to go visit Earth, as he hears this Goku and even the Prince is there. How Battle of Gods go? Find out in the next part. But I hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. 30 likes and I'll continue with another part. And remember, only a small percent of you guys are subscribed, so please do hit the red button. You can always change your mind later. Hit the bell to be part of the Super Saiyan Force, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.